All right, so I have an 05 srt4 neon, same thing, probably very similar PT Cruiser also. What we're doing is we're installing a replacement power steering rack right here. Box. It's got a little tape on that side. Looks like they gave us a gasket. No outer tie rods, but everything looks like it's here. No pressure switch, so we'll have to get a pressure switch. But that's how that is, okay? So for this, the way I do these is you're gonna come in here. There's this bracket, very similar bracket on PT Cruiser. Here, remove that. All right. My nuts for my tie rod ends, pop them off. You can tap on this with a hammer and they pop out pretty good. It's kind of nice to see the heat shields on here. All right. So I'm going to do that for both sides. There's a bolt that goes up through here. All right, and it has a locking nut on it. I cleaned the threads and sprayed them. Now on the back side of the control arm, we got lucky with these because sometimes these will not come out. You want to remove this because it's holding this K member in. Now, if for some reason you can't get that out, what you want to do is, I actually got a video on this, is you'll get in here, you'll pull your carpet up, and you'll see like a raised area, and there'll be like a circle up here. Take a hole saw that out. You'll be able to see the top. There's a nut inside of a thing that holds it where the bolt comes through. Hopefully you stop before it gets too far, because you could heat it if you need to, or get in there and clean your threads if it's a rusty car. I think I've only ever had two that didn't want to come out, and I heated them. All right, now I'm going to come over on this side, basically here. We're going to do the same thing. Whack, lift our tie rod out, move our heat shield. We've got all that stuff unbolted. These were replacements, so they have the castle nut in there, 19. Factory ones have a nylon lock nut. I'm gonna remove this also. I'm down to this last one here. All right, they're 24 mil. Now inside the car, make sure I got a flashlight. Where I set the other one, it might still be in here. Okay, so inside the car, you're going to find there is up here this nut. All right, so this folds off. Okay, when you loosen that, it's going to push this out. Normally it's locked with a little cotter key, so we have them, they're ready to put back in. This will stay inside the car like this. You want to retain from spinning this too much because you can damage the clock spring. All right, now this part is connected to the rack. It doesn't come with the new ones. It's like a crush sleeve. You can purchase them separately, but well, we're just going to switch this one off. All right, so now that we have that, I'm going to get okay, so I got to get this last one out, but that's going to drop this whole K member down. Our lines are going to be connected to that, but with that being said, the control arms are connected here and they're connected here, so it's going to keep this from dropping down the whole way. It will sag down, and this will give us room to get up in here because this rack has a clamp in 2 spots with 4 bolts holding it down. Plus we'll be able to get access in here to remove the power steering lines. Pull it out here. Okay, there we go. Make sure none of the wires are caught up. Okay. Well, I still got a front motor mount here I probably should have pulled. Now, let's get back in here and I'll show you more of what you can see. Okay, so we're dropped down here now some. Separated on the back side. Okay, we have our pressure sensor, which I got to unplug. All right, and that gives us access to these bolts, and also where the lines go into the rack there, you can see this thing was leaking out of, we believe, this boot here. So I mean, this thing's got high miles. There's no play in it that's real bad. It's being replaced over a leak. This is what was requested, so this is what we're doing. Looks like we have an AFR gauge here, sensor in the pipe, and it looks like, oh, we got damage up here at the wiring, which is probably why this has an O2 code. But that's something we're addressing in another video. All right, I'm gonna get this unplugged. These are usually pretty easy. There's no locking clip for them. They pop right out. Usually they leak out the middle. This one might be okay. There is an O-ring on them. They will leak out just like the oil sending units do. Probably like the one that's in here is now. So, like I said, now that this is out and it's down, we're just going to get up in here and work on getting the rest of this stuff undone. I'm going to pull this engine mount over here, and that's going to let this come down even further. All right, we got all our bolts out. I was able to get up in there like this. It did allow this to drop some. So now we have an 18 mil wrench, and we can get right up in here on these lines. I do have a drain pan because this is going to make a mess. So all I have to do now is get these out, and then I can wiggle it around and pull the shaft out. When I get to that point, I'll turn the camera on and let you guys check it out. All right, so all I did was I went to the other side and I kind of just like picked up on it a little bit and actually allowed it to move out. So I'm gonna try to get these lines so don't drain past that without making too much of a mess. All right. Push forward on this a little bit. Come out. All right, there we go. Outside of a big mess, we got the rack removed. We're just going to sit it next to the other one, and then we can get switched over what we need to here. Yeah, I got a little bit of mess on the floor to clean up, but so here's our rack, our wonderful replacement rack. Okay. Give us a new bushing. They also tell you what you need to do when you go to put this back together. So it says 2 to 4 hours. It's kind of nice, I guess. All right, so I guess they give you some O-rings here, but we got to use a punch to pull this out, and then we'll clean this rubber up and get it switched over. This, I believe, okay, it's on the bottom, so it probably goes like this. Then we'll have to pull that bracket off of there. Pretty easy. Maybe. All right, so we'll get that. We'll have to break our nut loose, spin this off, and then get this. There is like a little knot that this like slides into here. We can measure out and then roll our nut on to the same measurement, which I'll put our alignment close, and then we can adjust that when we drop it on the floor. But this should actually go get an alignment on an alignment machine, because obviously we did remove the whole entire suspension. So that could be off a little bit. Like I said, we're going to take a punch. We're going to get this. I'll show that. We're going to switch over our pressure switch, which I'll clean up a little bit in the back. And then we'll be ready to put this in. I'm probably going to do some cleaning up in here before we get to that point. I'm going to do the best that I can to flush out this fluid that's left in the reservoir and the lines. So a lot of it did run out. So what I'm going to do is I'll pop this belt off and I'll spin that pump by hand, and it'll actually push a little bit that's in the pressure side line out. There will still be some in there. No matter what I do, unless I pull these lines off and actually flush them entirely, which would be a good idea. But we didn't have any failure. We just had a leak and the fluid is clean. So as long as we get the old fluid out, we'll be ready for the new fluid. All right, so all in all, a pretty easy process. Just gave it a whack. Got our pin out, roll pin, and this. Just gonna set it here so we know where it goes. I'm just gonna pull this off of there. I'm gonna clean that out so that we can get that part reinstalled. Flip this over. I'm gonna grab the socket I need for this. Like I said, that comes out. It looks like they gave us some O-rings for that right here. Okay. And then we'll just get that stuff reassembled. Like I said, we gotta get this bracket off of here and install the rubber grommet. There we go. Pretty amazing what you can do in a couple minutes. We got our seal cleaned up. We cleaned up our boot. I did transfer the cap over to that one to try to keep from making a mess. I'm probably just gonna let these in here until I get this thing seated back on to the assembly there. I'm gonna break these boots loose, and before I install this, I'm gonna make sure that my clamps are off the inner part of the boot so that the boot can freely twist on the inner tie rod. Obviously, when everything is assembled, you actually spin this part, and that'll change your toe in and out with your wheel, okay? All right, so we got the outer tie rod off. So we're gonna take this, bump it right up against there. Looks like we got 4 3/4. So we're gonna remove our nut, which is probably not gonna be easy. So I'll have to get a wrench for this one. These do get kind of tight, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that off, and then we'll get it started screwing on over here. We'll bring it up to 4 3/4 to the inside edge, and that'll give us a good spot to start for our alignment. All right, our rack is ready to go in. The O-ring that I ended up using here, they're supposed to be for these 2 lines, but I had some O-rings, so we've actually replaced both of the ones on the lines. That way they're new, and we got everything cleaned up under here, cleaned up our floor the best we could. We did coat the bolts that were rusty. We cleaned them up. I always like to anti-seize everything. Somebody did actually put anti-seize on these bolts here for the control arms, so that's a definite plus, whoever did that. But we're gonna get this thing slid in here, and you kind of got to go across, and then you kind of turn up in to the hole there. So these things never give up. All right. So one goes on this side. And you kind of have to lift at the same time to get it in here. some. Alright, we're started. Okay, I'm gonna finish getting these bolts in. Alright, before you tighten down your lines, always make sure that they're in there correctly. We have our rack is now fully seated and installed. So right now the only thing we got to do now is we're going to push it up and we're going to get these started. And then I'm going to go up and I'm going to get the other one started before I tighten these down on both sides. This one here actually fell out, but it's going to be pretty easy just to push it up, and then we'll touch it with the we'll touch them with the impact gun and just zip it right in, man, where it's got to go. Look at that. They got points on them, so they go in pretty easy. All right. Just never wants to stop dripping. All right, so we got the I guess they call it a K-frame suspension assembly. We got everything bolted back into place. I did put NCs on everything. Like I said, this is all in preparation why the clamp's loose, so we can spin that for our alignment. Now I don't have this bolted back in because I'm going to be doing some other stuff, but it will get the castle nut and a new clip. So the wheel hub assembly is where it needs to be. All right, looks pretty straight. Okay, and we have our steering wheel straight. We've got everything assembled down below. We have our power steering lines are hooked up now, so we do need to get some fluid. This one I don't have in, so we just have to finish up that yet and reinstall our arm. But that's everything that you need to do pretty much for installing the rack. Now, I'll fill this, and like I said, I want to pull this belt off, and then I'm going to rotate this by hand to try to force more fluid through it. It's probably going to be a little bit before I start it, but for example, that's what you want to do, is fill this up with fluid. I'll spin this a little bit, just a little, with my hand a little bit, and then you'll take and you'll turn the rack all the way from one side, and then hold it, and you'll see bubbles come up, and then you'll turn it the other way and see bubbles come up, back and forth, and you'll see bubbles come up into the reservoir because it will force them back through. And then I'll do that again before I start it up so that nothing gets started up with a big air pocket. Sometimes you will, no matter what you do, you will end up with an air pocket. Just make sure you put fluid in. Sometimes the next day, the air will work its way out over time. And then just double check your level of your fluid in your reservoir, and then you should be good to go. So with that, that's how you install the power steering rack on an srt4 or Neon or PT Cruiser. All right. Oh, by the way, it will get ATF +4 fluid. I just don't have any. I got to get to the store, or I'd show you. All right, we're done.